Okay, did you gone through the documents which I had shared in the morning? Yes, did you gone through the documents which I shared in the morning
Yes, sir.
of module 1 and module 2 both?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How were the questions? Very easy. Programming questions. Did you gone through the programming questions? Yes, all of you answer.
Bit difficult, sir.
Bit difficult. The question papers were like that. I shared all the question papers, right? 4 question papers I found. I shared all the 4 question papers. One I'm missing actually. One more question paper is there, but which is missing. I'll just try to collect it. Hmm? Afterwards, I'll upload that also. See, that's why the concepts are easy to understand. Some it's like so you might have understood the theory, right? But see, look at the question paper. The framing of questions related to programming is not from your book alone. So they are taken the programs from their own is based on their thinking and all, right? Based on their knowledge, right? They have framed the questions. Okay, so because I have covered almost many programs, but after going through those question papers, even many of the programs I didn't touch. So because many of the programs even I also covered from first module, but look at the programs asked in the question paper. So they are taken some different programs. As it is programming language is something like that only. So because any question, so based on any mathematical concept, so they may frame a program statement and give you in the examination. Okay? So you need to work on all those. Yes, have you tried any of you? Have you tried any of the questions? The programs were not difficult, but only thing the basic concepts required. So you need to recall the basic concepts required and you need to write the program correspondingly. Yes, any of you tried or not? Should I need to touch upon those questions or you will prepare yourself?
So that exam one, sir.
Huh?
Best of two something was there, na, sir.
So that's the easiest one.
That got confused, sir, middle.
Nothing like that. See, what he has asked in the program statement, it is something like there is a 50 marks, total 50 marks. Okay, so think that 50 marks is there. Out of that 50 marks, 20 marks weightage is given to the sports activities, right? And other 20
Yeah,
marks.
sir, not that, sir, not that, sir. Average there, na, sir, in model question paper 1 or something. First main, third.
Okay, I'll share the screen and I'll go through the questions. You tell me which one it is. Okay, right. From the first module, it is. Is it from first module or second module?
First module, sir, first part.
First module. Okay, so where it is?
30th one, sir.
30?
30.
30th. 30th. Right. So it is this one. By average of best 2 test marks out of 3 test marks. So 3 marks given to you, mean input given as 3 marks, like you say M1, M2, M3, right? Out of M1, M2, M3, you need to first find out the best 2, right? Say if M1 and M2 are higher than M3, then you need to find the average of M1 and M2. If M1 and M3 are higher than M2, then you have to find the average of M1 and M3. So for that, you need to frame a logic. Simple if else statement you can use. Elif ladder you can use to find that.
Yes.
Try afterwards again. I'll give. But if I don't mean like if I give directly, then you will not think because it's see, this kind of questions it comes in the examination. Not exactly this one. If some other questions comes in the examination, then what you will do, right? Few I'll take, and I'll tell you. Okay. So others, yes. So one he has asked. So simple logic. Out of three, you need to find the best two first, right? If M1, M2, M3 are the marks given by the user, then you need to first find out which two marks are higher than the third one, right? Then average of that you need to find out. Okay.
Yes.
Will you try? Okay. Will you try that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So what about others? What about others? Yes, others. Tell me others. Have you gone through other questions or not? If that's the case, then I'm not going to touch upon these questions. I leave it to you to work. Yes. Others, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Then you have worked or
Yes.
not? Interestingly, gone through the questions or not? See, but after seeing these questions, even I'm worrying because see, they look at the questions that they framed. See, if you go blindly for the examination based preparing theory questions, then it's very difficult to write the programs because most of the questions are on programming only. See the entire question paper. Most of the questions are on programming only. See, if you can't write, then the result will be very worst. Yes. I think if people are not interested, I think in the programming there. Right? Yes. And if people don't want me to explain these questions also, right?
Hello? Hello?
No, sir.
Hello?
Yes. Then you are interested or not interested?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, all. You are there, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only 2-3 students are answering. What about others? For the sake of attendance, if you have come here, then please you can leave. No problem. I don't mind for that one. Right? So here, after seeing the question paper, I got some difficult. Like so, you find difficulty in writing the questions. That's why I wanted to address some of the questions here. Right? That's why I took this class. Otherwise, I would not have taken this class. I would have continued with my syllabus. If you are really interested, then I'll go with some questions. So then those who are not interested or don't want to communicate here, interact here, then you can leave, no problem. Who will be there here, I'll address them. By taking few programming questions, I'll address. Yes, tell me immediately. Hello?
Yes, sir.
You're
Yes,
there? Okay, you don't want answers, right, for these questions? You'll be able to write, you are able to write these questions, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, then you practice yourself. Okay. So I'll address only few people who are really interested, and others can leave. Others can leave the hall.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, this you can. Others can leave the meeting. Okay. So first go through here. So I'll answer all the questions, but see, really, if you work, then only you'll pass in this subject. So it's very difficult because see, after seeing these questions, I'm telling you, right? You're not only just reading the theory concepts, you need to practice the programs. So then only you can write any program which you get in the examination, right? So this program, I think you can write. This is simplest one. Just what is asking here. So write a program to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, integer division, modular division, floor division on two values. So mean what all you need to do in this program is, first you need to read two inputs. Okay, first you need to read two inputs from the user. After that, you need to find out the addition of those two numbers, subtraction of those two numbers, multiplication, simple arithmetic operation. It is illustration of arithmetic operators. Then integer division. So what is integer division? What is the operator for integer division? What is the operator? Double slash, right? Then modular division. So mod operator, floor division. What is floor division? Single front slash operator. Right, single front slash operator. So that's to perform the floor division operation. So just illustration of arithmetic operators. I think you don't have any difficulty in writing this program, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then take a second program here. This program is write a Python program to take temperature in Celsius and convert it to Fahrenheit. Right. Yes. What is the equation? What is the equation here? Input is Celsius. You need to read an input from the user, that is in Celsius, and then you need to convert that Celsius into Fahrenheit. So what is the equation for? What is the equation for conversion? It's one of another simple program. So just read the Celsius from the user, right? After that, you need to convert it into Fahrenheit. You can use the equation called as Celsius equals to F minus 32 into 5 by 9. So here Celsius is the input. So we convert that equation to Fahrenheit, right? So it becomes C into 9 by 5 plus 32, correct? So just by using that equation, you can convert Celsius into temperature. I think even this program you might have written in the C programming language also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so try that program in Python. Right? And also you try to use the try and except clause with the input. Mean if the Celsius is not in the floating point form, right, then you have to display error message. If it is a type error or value error, then you have to display the error message, right? So try to use that one, because in other questions, in few of the other questions, they have asked how exception handling is done in Python. Write an example for try and except clause. That's why when you try to write the program, always try to use the try and except clause also, so that the same examples you can take for the demonstration, okay, and for explanation purpose. Yes, can you write this program? Will you write?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then so next one, develop a program to find the largest among three numbers. This I think already worked, right? I had discussed this program.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this
Yes,
program
sir.
I actually worked on. Okay, you can write that. The next one, you look at next one. It is one of the good program. So where you can apply your logic, right? Write a program to prompt for a score between 0.0 and 1.0. So mean what you need to do is you need to ask the user to enter a value between 0 to 1. Right? You need to ask the user to enter a value between 0 to 1. If the score is out of range, so mean here you need to check for the error. Check for the error mean if it is less than 0 or if it is more than 1, then it's an error. So you need to enter, we need to give the error message to the user that the input is not within the range or something that kind. Any message. So some error message that should indicate the user what is the mistake, right? And if no error, like if the value is in between 0 to 1.0, then so what he has to do, so what the program has to do. So now what we need to do is we need to print a grade. So look at here, if the score is between 0.0 and 1.0, print a grade using the following table. Here is the table. So if it is greater than or equals to 0.9, then we have to print a grade A. Simple else if ladder. It's called a chained conditional statement, right? If so, you take some value in variable code. As for example, I'll take a value in v. For example, v is the variable which is having the value. Okay. So if the value v, if v is greater than or equals to 0.9, then print grade A, right? L if v is greater than or equals to 0.8, then print b. Are you getting my point? Or should I write and show you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only two answers, Samprita and
Sir,
Amulya.
please. Sure.
Jessica, Preeti, Ranjita. But you're not Rajia. Okay, only 6 responses, sir.
Sir, right answer, sir.
Hmm? What? I didn't get. Should I write and show you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
Why to write all the programs? Huh? Why to write all the programs? You try. Otherwise, you'll not get, because the program which I cover may not come in the examination. With the basis of this one, some other programs may be asked. Here I'm going to discuss all the programs. Obviously, I'll explain all the logics for these programs. But don't think that I will go and ask the same questions in the examination, in the even I also. I may change the problem statement relating to the same concept. Right? See here, simple. So what is here? First, you need to read a value, right? So just go for reading the value. So ask the user to enter the value between 0 and 1.0, right? So I'll take a b variable and then I'll ask the user to enter the input. So enter the value in the range 0.0 to 1.0. But what is the guarantee that you will enter in the range? So that's why you need to check if v value is less than 0.0 or if v value greater than 1.0, then what you should do? Print the value v is not in the range. Value of input is not in the range. Or is not within the range, whatever you can give, right? Now if part over, so then you can go for else, right? And now here, sorry, right now, so what else? Next, if data is correct, if the value is within the range, so then what you have to do? So first we need to check whether value is greater than or equals to 0.9. Yes, check that. If v is greater than or equals to 0.9. If so, what we have to do? Print grade A. Sorry, grade A. Or then L if, right? If greater than or equals to, next case. What is the next case? 0.8. Right? Then what you have to do is you have to print the grade B. Right? So like this, you continue. Right? So then take a copy of this one, put here. Okay. Next, what's the range? 0.7. So the grade is C, right? Then again take the next one. So what's the next one? 0.6. So it's grade D. Then next one is 0.6, less than 0.6. So it doesn't require to check the condition. So just you can put in else part. So because if the first one is true, it is going to print A. If second one is true, it is going to print B. Third one C. Then fourth one D. If neither of these four cases are true, then it's going to be obviously else part, right? So that we have to print as F, right? Done. Grade. So now the value, if I give 1.1, now see here, it is less than or equal to
Int of input, sir.
okay, 1 minute. Just I'll take a float because it's not floating point value. You can give even in the form of right. So this one, so just will take a right. Now if I give 1.1, look at here. Now value of input is not in the range, so it's out of range, right? So now if you like that, if you give minus 0.6 something, even it is out of range, so it has to give error message as is given. Then now if I specify 0.8, right? Now look at here, it's grade B. Greater than or equals to 8 is B, so it is displaying B now, right? Like that. So suppose if I give 7.5, 0.75, so then it is grade C. So it's going to print C. Did you get this one now? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
difficult. Only problem statement is bigger one, but program is not that, right? Then next one, write a Python program using function to check a given number is even or odd. So this you are written, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here this program you have to write in using function. So mean you have to write one function. That function has to check whether a number is even or odd. Okay. And then in the main function, so mean in the main, so you need to call that function. And first you have to read one number, and then you pass that number to the function to check for whether it is even or odd, and then print. If it is even number, you print its even number. If it is odd number, you print its odd number. Will you write this program? It's there with you already. This program
Yes,
is there with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the only thing you need to write with the help of function. Will you try to write?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Say any number modulus 2, any number modulus 2 results 0, then it is even number. Any number modulus 2 results other than 0, then it's a what? Yes, any number modulus 2, if it results 0, then it's even number. Otherwise, it's a odd number.
Odd number.
So you can write program for this one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Then, so already explained this one because Rohan has asked this one. So that is to find the average of best 2 test marks out of 3 test marks. So here, how your mind works. So that makes the difference here, right? Because in the in the 3 marks, so you need to find out the best 2 first, right? And then you have to take the average of those 2, right? How many combinations will come? So for example, if I write if M1 is greater than M2 and M2 is greater than M3, then average between say M1 and M2, right? If not true, if one of the condition fails, then you have to go for the second alternative. If M1 is greater than M2 and M3 is greater than M2, so then M1 and M3. Correct? Are you getting or not logic?
Didn't get you, sir. Yes, sir.
How many combinations will come like that? How many combinations will come like that?
6.
So for 6 combinations, you need to 6 combinations, correct? M1, M2, M3. Out of that, so 2 best you need to take. So 6 combinations will come or not?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Smita?
Sir.
Huh?
Sir, didn't get you, sir.
So 6, well, will you get 6 mean how many combinations will come? So like M1, M2, M3, out of that you need to find out the best 2, right? Best 2 marks. So how many combinations will come? M1 and M2 may be greater than M3, right? And M2, M3 may be greater than M1. Like that, how many combinations will come? So those many cases you need to write in the else if, else if, elif, like that. But this program is easier to write with the list. This program is easier to write with the list, but with the variables, if we go with the normal variables, then it takes some additional steps. Because if you go with the list, so what you can do, you can take 3 values, 3 input, 3 marks in a list. Then what you can do? Simple, you can do a sorting in descending order. Are you getting my point, Rohan?
Sir.
So are you getting my logic? See, if 3 marks are in a list, then it is very easiest program. Because what you can do, that list can be sorted in descending order. The list can be sorted in descending order. Once you get the sorted order, descending order, then what you can do? The average of
first two. We can take
the average of first 2, right? The last one can be omitted, right? But if the 3 marks are there in 3 different variables, then you need to go with the different combinations, right? Are you getting?
Sir.
Okay, try with that one. Okay, if you get any difficulty, then again approach me, I'll address you, right? Right, others, will you write? No, now I'm not telling only Rowan, because Rowan has raised this question, I addressed him personally. What about others? Will you try?
Will try. Yes, sir.
Okay. So try with the different combinations, M1 greater than M2 and M2 greater than M3. Like that, you try with the different cases. Right? It's simple program. Okay. Then next one. So write a program to print the sum of all odd numbers from 100 to 200. Is the easiest one or not? Yes. In many ways you can write this program. So this one, write a program to find the sum of all odd numbers between 100 to 200, from 200 to 200. I think I've given the program for 1 to 100, finding the sum of 1 to 100, right?
Yes, sir.
So same program, you need to convert from 100 to 200, but only odd numbers. You need to find the sum of only odd numbers. That you know, right? Before you take the value into the sum, first you check whether that number is odd number or not. If it is an odd number, then add it to sum. Otherwise, just skip that number. That's it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Or else in other way also you can do this one. How? Range function is there with you. Range function. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What you can do in the range function?
Yes,
Range
for
of
numbers in range
30 from 100. 100, obviously you don't know that it is not a even number, right? Sorry, it's an odd number. It's not an odd number. So what you can do, start from 101, right? Put a comma, then put 200, then comma. What do you put? Another value, stepping value. Start. So the range can take 3 arguments, right? The first argument is starting value.
2.
Second argument value is stopping value, and the third one is a stepping value. So 101, 200, 2. So then it goes on.
2.
Every increment in every step, it is going to increment by 2. So 101, 103, 105, so on. It will continue up to 199. At 200, it will stop, right? So then put it in sum. Keep on adding the value to the sum. That's it. Just 2-line program. Yes. Will you write?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just show you. I'll not write the full program here. I'll show you just with a terminal. Look at here now. For x in range of, right, 101, 200, 2, right? So this one, then sorry, I should have taken some variable here before. Okay. Sum equals to, I'll put initially 0 for this one. Then I'll write this for loop one, right? Then sum equals to sum plus x. Done. Now print the sum over now. That's the program for finding the sum between 100 to 200 for only odd numbers. Did you get this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the one way. Other way is also you can use the 100, 200 as a range, and then you can check whether number is odd or even. If it is odd number, then put it in sum, add it to sum. Otherwise, skip that number. So that way also you can write the program, right? Okay. The next one. See the next program. Write a program which repeatedly reads numbers until the user enters done. Right? Once done is entered, print out the total, count, and average of the numbers. So what you need to do? Total means sum of all the input numbers. Then the total numbers entered by the user, that is count, right? Then average. So average means total divided by count. If you do this one total divided by count, you will get the average of these numbers. So if the user enters anything other than a number, detect their mistake using try and except clause. Earlier I was telling you. So try to, whenever you read input, you try to use the try and except clause. So detect their mistake using try and except clause and print a message and skip to the next number and skip to the next number. Yes. Will you write this program? Hello all.
We'll try, sir.
We'll try, sir.
What is the logic? What is the logic behind this program? What's the logic? What's the logic?
When the user enters done, we should come out of the loops.
Okay, fine. Right.
It is while loop. It is not equal to done till then the loop will be running, sir.
Okay.
As soon as the then we'll do the total and count.
Okay. So three things you need to do here, right? First thing, you need to write a loop which keeps on reading the data until the user types in done. Correct? First, you need to write a loop. You need to write a loop, right? That loop has to iterate through. That loop has to iterate through until the user types in done, right? Then within the loop, what all you need to do, right? So two more things you need to do here. One is you need to find the three calculation. You need to do two calculations here. One is the total. The total means sum. So the number which has entered by the user is to be added to the sum, right? Or the total, right? Then increment the count value by 1, because after reading every value, increment the count value by 1. So you'll get the how many numbers as input by the user. So the count will have the total number of data entered by the user, right? Then outside the loop, you can find the average, because average cannot be calculated within the loop, right? So once we have the total sum and once we have the total count of the numbers entered, then you can go for the average. So that has to be done always outside the loop, right? Total divided by count, that will give you the average. But the third thing what you need to do in the program is, so you need to check for the data. You need to check for the data validation. So validation, that is, if the number, if the data entered is not a number, so then what you have to do, you have to check, you have to display the error message and you have to skip that number and you have to continue with the next number. Not just terminating the program. You should not terminate the program. For the invalid input, you just have to prompt an error message to the user and then you have to continue the program. Right? Will you try to write? Or should I give the part of that program? Should I tell the part?
Yes, sir.
Huh? If I say
We'll try.
Always just say yes only. I
We'll try, sir.
Okay. Right. Will you try? Somebody said I'll try. Will try. Okay. Now see here. Just put a one loop here. That is while true, right? Okay. Then before that you take a sum or total, anything you can take here. This is total equals to 0. Then count. Okay. Initially you take count equals to 0 because I not read any value before loop. So take count equals to 0, right? Then right, fine. So then ask the user to enter the value, right? Now just we'll take a one variable num. Okay. So then I'll ask the user to enter a number, right? Right. Then, right. If what I'll do, if num is equals to done, right? If num is equals to done, then what I should do? If num is equals to done, yes, break the loop.
Print.
Correct? Yes, I'd stop. That's why I'll break it. Right. Else, if num is not equals to done, that means it needs to keep on. It needs to keep on looping. Right. That's why. So what you can do here is get that break. Otherwise, you can just go for finding the total. So total equals to, look at here, total equals to, now I'll take int of num. Why I took here integer instead of here only? Why I didn't put int here itself? Yes,
The second part question is there, no, sir.
because here num I should check with the done, right? So if it is a string type, then it will take here. If I put here int, what will happen? Now it will generate a error message. So because done is not a valid data for the integer conversion, so it will generate an error message for that. So here we need to go for that try and except clause. So that the part I'm not giving you, right? I'll give it to you as assignment, right? You can continue that one, right? So now int of num, so total equals to total plus int of num. Total equals to total plus int of num. Then increment the count value by 1. So I'll use a shorthand assignment operator, that is count plus equals to 1, right? So two things we calculated, right? Then come out of the while loop. So this will be keep on looping. This will be keep on looping. So once we enter done, it will come out of the loop. And now we have to calculate the average. We have to calculate the average, that is total. Oh, sorry, I didn't keep the recording. Right, divided by count. Total average equals to this. Now you can print total equals to total. Then similarly you print count, that is count equals to count, then average.